Hello and welcome to this video where we are going to start cleaning the database. This is the first thing we have to do. And as we saw in the workshop, in my opinion, it's better if we clean in Excel instead of going directly to SPSS. So also, as I mentioned during the workshop, we were a bit lucky because our survey is quite good. So there is really not much to clean. So I'll try to go step by step on what we have to do. You can replicate what I am doing with your file. So this is the file that I got from Google Form. So you can go step by step and maybe we should end up with the same results. So the first thing that I mentioned is important is to maybe delete this column, because in this column it only says when someone answered to the question. So maybe we can just delete that. We don't need that for us. The second thing is to, before we actually do the coding, is to give names to our variables, because right now we have the question that came from Google. So I think that's not going to work for us. We need to change the names. Actually, before we change the names, I think there is another column that we don't need. It's this one, the one where the participants agree to give us their consent. So to check if there is no issue with this, we can go to data and then filter. And then we can click here in the small arrow and we will see that everyone answered yes. If someone said no, we will have to select that no. For example, I will do the experiment. Imagine someone said no. So we will have to select the no and delete this from our sample. Since that didn't happen, we can just delete the whole column because everyone agreed. So we can just say that we don't need that column. But from this on, we are going to need all this data. So before we start coding, I think that the best thing to do is to start giving names to our variables. Because as I said, we only have the names of the core, not even the names, we have the questions. So my suggestion is that when you enter the name of your variable, you don't input like a very long name. It's better if you just use this, my suggestion, 3 words. For example, in this question, we are asking if you are currently a student. So maybe we can ask STU as student. And we can leave it like that, STU. In the next one is about the gender. And we discussed that maybe it's easier when we code. In the next video, we'll talk about coding. To instead of call it gender, call it female. So if the person is a female, we will have 1. If not, 0. Then this one is pretty easy, is the age. The next one is the year where the person started studying, which in this case is only 4 digits for the year. So we can call it YEA, sorry. So like year, but because we're using only 3 words, 3 letters, we're going to say YEA. The next one is if they are currently a student. No, sorry. The next one is if they are studying in Jönköping University. So for this one, we can call it uni. The next one is about the level of studies, wherever they are studying. So we can call it lev as in level. And now we are done with the 6 controls that we have. We can move to the actual questions that we ask. And in here, we have to be a bit smart because we have different questions about different concepts. But in one concept, we can have different questions. For example, question 1, 2, 3, and 4 relate to happiness. So we can call it HA1, HA2, HA3, and HA4. So these 4 made up for happiness. One important thing in here that you need to note is that while this variable, the higher it gets, the happier you are. So in general, I consider myself happy. If you remember if you go to the questionnaire, you will know. These 3 questions, the higher you answer, the happier you are. But number 4 is the opposite. The higher you answer, the less happy you are. So because of that, we should mark it. I like to mark it in yellow. So I know that I have to do something, and I will come back to that in the coding between the next one. So from here, we only have to do the same: locus of control 1, locus of control 2, locus of control 3, locus of control 4, 5, and 6. And if I remember correctly from our questionnaire, we also coded inversely the 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 2 was the only one that made sense, because we asked, in my life, good luck is more important than hard work and success. If they answer yes, I strongly agree, like a 10, that is the opposite of locus of control. They give more value to luck than to control. So that's why it's inverse. The second one, it's fine. When I make plans, I am almost certain that I can make them work. That's because you control a lot. So it's fine. So double check every variable in the document that we have for each question, just to make sure that you know which one is inverse coded, so you can mark it. After that, I think we have the relationships, and we can call it RE1, RE2. Be careful in here because Excel is thinking that everything is yellow, so just be careful. And my suggestion is just keep naming everything. We have many variables around. I think it's going to be in total 42. So name everything and make sure that you give colors to the ones that are inverse. In the next video, we are going to start actually coding. So this was only about cleaning and giving names to the variables.